Hello, I'm Yongbei. I'm the assistant manager of Naver audiophile community Hi-Fi Nara. And next to me,
Steve Huntley of YG Acoustics in Colorado, USA. Very happy to be here.
nice to meet you.
Good to meet you.
Yeah. You joined YG Acoustics quite recently, isn't it?
Yeah, it was about a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
Before that, I was sales director at Boulder Amplifiers. And the company recruited me to join an exciting company. And so I'm having a lot of fun.
Yeah. How did you enjoy the experience at Boulder?
I loved it. I learned a lot there, as I have in every company I've been involved with. It's a company that's very serious about the way they do things. Actually very similar to YG from the standpoint of doing so much in-house themselves. Whenever possible, they'll do something themselves, and that's the approach that YG takes as well.
So what kind of background you brought to YG Acoustics then?
I actually owned a retail store, so I have that experience, but I'm a music lover like everybody at YG is. And so it's a collection of people who just love music, and we live and breathe it. There's musicians, there's guys that record, there's guys that mix live sound, there's people who just love music. And you know, I bring that love, but everybody who works there is into that. Sales management and just a passion for this industry and good sound, you know, that's why I'm involved.
So do you still play music then?
Yeah, I play guitar. I love playing with friends, and I'm constantly either playing guitar or listening to music. I live and breathe music.
Okay, what kind of music do you like then?
Well, I'm a rock and roll guy, but my wife loves jazz, so we listen to music a lot together.
Okay.
Friday and Saturday nights, we're spinning records and
Jazz
streaming.
and rock and roll, huh?
Jazz and rock and roll, classical as well. But you know, if it's got a guitar in it, that draws me in a little bit more.
Rodrigo.
Right.
Okay. YG Acoustics have changed a lot recently. We have new designer and CEO Matthew Webster.
Right.
Yep. And he's from England, isn't he?
He is. He's a brilliant engineer. He's an astrophysicist, PhD from Cambridge University. So he's based partly out of Cambridge with a team of engineers there, and then he's in Colorado about half the time as well. So he's back and forth, and he manages to navigate that, and we're lucky to have him. But you know, even when he's not in Colorado, we're in such close touch with him. He's doing work during the day in development of the products, and then as we start going on the Colorado day, he's working with us to get things going, to implement designs that he did earlier that day. And it feels like we're in a 24-hour loop.
So do you get to sleep then?
He's the one who doesn't sleep. He's got some freakish ability to minimize his sleep. No, he's a great talent, and I'm just excited to be working with him.
He's the CEO of Cambridge Acoustic Sciences, right?
Yeah, so he founded Cambridge Acoustic Sciences with some friends and engineers in Cambridge. Largely, it was to do work for YG Acoustics. Matthew has YG speakers long before this involvement, so he's a true audiophile as well as. He has XV Studio, so he's in the big leagues.
He's up there.
Yeah, he just loves what we do. He understands the business. He's not simply an engineer who doesn't really understand what we do. So all aspects of it, marketing, sales, you know, he's really involved with all of it. So he recently became the CEO of the company. Essentially, we merged Cambridge Acoustic Sciences and YG.
Right.
He was the chief technology officer. Now he's that as well as the CEO of the company. So he's driving the direction of the company.
So what kind of things have changed since you have left the company?
Well, so really what we're doing is being much more efficient in the way that we build the products. We're figuring out systems that are in place to be able to scale the company up. We want to grow, and we want to be the best loudspeaker company in the world, and none of us at the company are interested in second best, and so he's helping drive the growth. We have tremendous investment from the guys who own the company, and that's been just fantastic for me to be a part of something where they're willing to make investments. On the side of manufacturing, brand new CNC machines, a water jet cutter, a laser engraver. When we need something to do things better, we make that investment. So I'm the luckiest guy in audio because I have this incredibly talented engineering team, investment from the owners of the company, and a team of people who love music. I mean, how do you beat that?
So it seems like to me, Cambridge Acoustic Sciences dream and plan things, and then YG Acoustics fulfills the dream. You know?
Well, that's right, because you know YG is known for the precision manufacturing capabilities. I mean, you look at a YG reference series product, and there's no parallel surfaces in the way that the cabinets are built. We machine our own drivers in-house. I mean, so if there's a hard way to do something, the company has figured out that, and we love those challenges, figuring out the best way to do things. And that's the mindset of everybody at the company, even before Matthew joined. But we're just a more professional company now, the way that we do things, and we're trying to listen to the customers. We can talk more about that when we get into some of the new products that we've got coming out. But, you know, a big part of what we do is listening to what the market wants and trying to respond to that.
So what's the strength of Cambridge Acoustic Sciences brings to YG Acoustics?
There's tremendous talent in Cambridge in general, but with the team that Matthew has there, so there's 3 guys doing engineering, and we have an in-house musicologist. I don't know of another high-end audio company that's got a musicologist on staff, and he has encyclopedic knowledge of classical music. He's a tremendous listener, and he's just a part of the team of people who make sure that the computer modeling that we do, the engineering that we do, is balanced with really critical listening.
What is musicology? Musicology.
It's almost a trick question because I don't know any other musicologist than Andreas. But he is somebody who just knows so much about music. When he talks about a classical recording, he gives me insight into what is happening in that recording that gives me an appreciation for the way that that piece of music was recorded, the artistry behind it. And so it's just a deeper understanding that he has. And when you have a deep understanding of how something was recorded, the intent of the musicians, the intent of the conductor, you start to understand, are you getting there or are you not getting there with the design? So it's valuable.
YG Acoustics is going into a new direction right now, and what do you define as the best speakers?
None of it is relevant at all if it doesn't really involve you in the music and allow you to just get lost in it. And that's what it's all about. And so for somebody might resonate with the sound of a cello, somebody else it's a violin, for me it's a guitar, somebody else it's a drum. When you have that deep connection to the music and you just get lost in it, then you start thinking about how great life is. And you start letting your problems go away. And so I believe that music is therapeutic. I believe it's really important. It's not just a pastime. For people like us, it's central to our lives. You know, it's part of who we are.
Exactly.
So that deep connection to music is important, and you know when you're making it and when you're missing the mark.
We have Peak series.
Right.
That's new. Can you introduce us?
Well, Peaks is exciting because I guess a common comment that we would hear is, I love YG speakers, I'd love to own them, but I'd have to hit the lottery or something like that. And so not everybody can attain that level of investment that it takes with the reference series. So what we wanted to do is give that kind of performance to people at a much lower price point. That was a tremendous challenge for a company like YG, who always finds the most complicated way to do everything and holds very high standards. So it took a couple of years of development to come out with a new series that we call Peaks, that's named after Rocky Mountains, you know, different elements of climbing and in the mountains in Colorado.
The names are quite strange to foreigners in a way.
Yeah, right. Cairn is a small stack of rocks, and each of these speakers has its own name that's related to that. But what we wanted to do is design a new series that took technology that we already had, same drivers that we use in the reference series. We didn't use less expensive drivers in it. Same quality of crossover components. The front baffle is a new design with a waveguide that gives it tremendously wide dispersion horizontally and vertically. So you can be off axis and get tremendous performance. People here at the show are enjoying this, and it's not just the 3 people in the middle row that are getting the great sound. You just walk in and you hear it immediately. So it's those things. We saved some money compared to the way that we build the reference speakers by having 2 companies in Europe build the cabinets for us. So we designed those cabinets and they build them to our specifications. And that is really about the only way we could get the price down is to go to something like that. But they're tremendously solid cabinets. It's basically a resin composite, sort of a high density resin material with the real wood veneer, and then a special varnish that goes on that.
Yeah.
And then we mate that with the aluminum front baffle that we machine in-house.
Okay.
We don't want to be a wood shop, in-house. We're a machine shop and an assembly area, and then adding wood cabinets is
So you're not doing entire thing
No.
by yourself,
right.
but now you're outsourcing something that's cost effective in a way.
Yeah, and that's our philosophy is if there's a company that does something better than us or can be more efficient in doing that, whether it's assembling the actual drivers when we create the critical parts for them, or if it's a capacitor manufacturer or something, we're always thinking, how could we do that ourselves? So it could be that we expand what we do, but we're realistic about what our strengths are. And whenever we can involve another company that's really good, we're open to doing that.
Okay.